people should just still be in the same place. Hey, I think we're back. Technical issues. Keith, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah? Can everyone else hear us?
Fantastic. Okay, we don't know what happened, but this is the beauty of technology and us figuring things out.
Yes, some plug must have just come loose somewhere, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Oh, fantastic! We can hear you. YouTube. Maybe it was YouTube. Should we just blame it on YouTube?
Yeah, let's call it. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, to be honest, we do have thunder and stuff around us at the moment.
Hang on, guys. I've got YouTube CEO on the phone. Okay. He said sorry. He said sorry, guys. Okay, we're all right. We're back. Cool. All right. So we were talking about Brighton Leicester, weren't we? Before we were rudely interrupted.
Yeah, I think we were pretty much finished anyway.
We were pretty much finished. I actually, maybe as we were going down, I was just going to big up Ben Chilwell.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I just wanted to say back-to-back clean sheets. That's 4 for the season. And I think he's looked really attacking. He looked good for England. He got an assist, didn't he, for Harry Kane's winner. And I think, I think he's maybe not in this game. I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet against Brighton, but I think going forward, I think he's a good differential pick still.
I think they could do it. It could even be a 0-0, couldn't it? Actually, clean sheets for both teams could be likely, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna stick with 1-0 Brighton. Pascal Gross goal.
Gross with the goal as well. Wow.
Gross with the goal. Yeah, I think it's gonna. I hope he does. I hope he just mixes it up for us. We need some more midfield options. Okay, so we talk about Everton Cardiff. I mean, we spoke a little bit about Richarlison already. Sigurdsson's back, and for a long time I wanted to double. Has that thought crossed your mind?
No, because there's no chance of me doing that at the moment. Oh. So yeah, it hasn't crossed my mind. You're looking towards Martial now more /
I am.
Fraser, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like him, but I think Richarlison seems like he's in good form. So he's up front, so he should get more goals, more points. That's seems no-brainer, right?
Well, you say that, but I don't know. I like how involved Siggy's been in maybe the last last 5 or 6 game weeks. I did a bit of a comparison on our Twitter page, comparing Martial and Siggy, and Martial came out actually on top, but Sigurdsson's stats were just underneath him for a player who's playing in number 10 position. It's probably not surprising to learn that he was more creative than Martial. But he was shooting actually more than Martial was, but his shots were mainly from outside the box, which I think lessens his chances. But I think in those fixtures for Everton, I think he's got a great chance of getting some returns. So Mendy has put a spanner in the works for a lot of transfers I was planning this week. I'm really hit adverse, so I won't make too many transfers that involve hits. And yeah, Sigurdsson could have been a potential for me, but I think I'm going to leave it until those back-to-back home games against Newcastle and Watford.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Well, I think Cardiff will concede as well. They've not kept a clean sheet since August.
I think it's likely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good start of Everton's good run, and 4 home fixtures in the next 6 for them.
I mean, what do you think to Bamba?
Oh, he's looking good for a 4.5. Centre back, isn't he? He's getting the sort of returns you'd want from Laporte.
Yeah, true. I mean, he's saving goals with his hands and getting points that way. Then I'll take that from Laporte this weekend, please.
Yeah. Well, I think he's got more. He's got 1 point. He's averaging 1.1 shots per game, which is quite a decent amount for a centre back playing for Cardiff. So yeah, 2 goals and 1 assist so far this season.
There's been things on Twitter of like comparisons between his stats and Van Dijk's stats, and Bamba's are like by far and away better, but that's because he's in like a struggling team, and his stats are naturally going to be bigger and larger because like he's making more tackles and stuff because he's in a worse team and stuff. And obviously Van Dijk is called upon way less because he's in. And I think those comparisons are obviously a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
And obviously the clean sheet 4 point, the 6.0 value is why it's there because he's getting clean sheets, whereas Bamba and Cardiff just aren't they?
Yeah, I think another differential shout out. We've done a few differential shout outs tonight, but I'm going to keep doing them. because I like him. Patterson for Cardiff. He's a 5.2 million midfielder. He's only owned by 0.5% of the game, so he's a massive differential again. He's got 3 goals and 1 assist in the last 4, and averaging over 1.3 shots per game, and he had three touches in the box against Brighton, which isn't bad for what is essentially an out of position midfielder playing up front. So I think he's looking like a decent differential pick for Cardiff.
Yeah, Notorious Nerd is asking, is he too good to ignore?
Yeah,
maybe.
I think he's got the big differential factor. He's got some good fixtures. He's not going to take up a lot in your team. I think he's a decent differential pick.
He's a good sort of 5th mid option, isn't he? If you can stretch that a little bit more, he's easily rotatable. Just sort of like Kennedy Price, isn't he? But I don't know if you saw he was wearing a number 2 for Scotland and played right back in the second game against Israel. Yeah. Which, I don't know where that's come from.
Man of many talents, Geek.
I don't know if that's slightly worrying. I guess he's doing Movember as well because his stash is fantastic at the moment.
Is it?
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what to think about that playing right back for Scotland. I think that's scary. But I mean that's completely different positions, isn't it? Like up front compared to right back. Like,
yeah. Well, I don't understand how he's doing that, but I think if we just base it on where he's been playing for Cardiff and the fact he's been playing up front with those 5 on paper good-looking fixtures coming up for them: Everton, Wolves, West Ham, Southampton, Watford. No teams in the big 6 there, and 2 home games against Wolves and Southampton. I think if you're playing 3-5-2, you'd probably put him in your team. I don't think he'd probably get in your team ahead of, let's say, we've actually both got the same 4 in midfield now, haven't we? I don't think he'd get in my team ahead of Fraser. Well, he wouldn't. But if I was playing 3-5-2 and I didn't have Doherty, for instance, then I think he'd be a great pick for the next 5.
Yeah, could be a downgrade from like Hazard towards Kane or something like that. As Notorious Nerd is saying as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's rotatable and he could just do a good job on the occasion that you put him in.
Notorious enabler. Okay, should we talk about Fulham and Southampton? Because they're playing at 3 p.m. on Saturday afternoon at Craven Cottage. And guess who's in charge of Fulham, Kieran?
Dilly ding, dilly dong.
Exactly, you win. Yeah, what do you think about that appointment?
I think it's good for them, honestly. I think he's a good manager and he should help them, honestly. Yeah. New manager bounce, as we've talked about a little bit before. We might be wanting Mitrovic back soon. He's dropped a lot at 6.6. So he'll be cheap to get back if we want him. I could see them, getting a few wins in the next few, maybe a couple clean sheets. Who knows?
Well, I think it's a good move for them. I like Ranieri, and he did good things at Leicester.
Yep.
It's just they've got some tricky fixtures. They've got some really tricky fixtures. They've got the Southampton one, and then they've got away against Chelsea and Man United, sort of in the next 4. But sandwiched between that, they've got a home game against Leicester, and then they've got an away game against West Ham. So I mean, they've got 3 decent winnable home games, but those away games sort of sandwiched, I guess, if you like. Are going to make it a trickier start for him than he would like. But it was interesting. I noticed when he signed, or when he was giving his first press conference, he said about how we want to start giving Mitrovic some more help and potentially switching and playing 2 up front. And I think he was asked. Yeah, exactly like Leicester did. I don't think he can be Leicester's Vardy, if you like, 'cause they played in a totally different way, didn't they? Leicester played on the counter attack and hit teams quickly, whereas I don't think Mitrovic is, well, he's not that sort of player. He's more of a hold up, bringing people into play, getting in the box and getting on the end of things.
Yeah.
So the style's going to be different. So it'll be interesting to see how Ranieri adapts to that. I think he's got to make the defence better first. It's a difficult situation for him. But Mitrovic's form has fallen off a bit of a cliff. I think he's had 2 shots in his last 6 games. So if Ranieri can light a fire under him and get him fired up for these 3 home games, then I could see him getting some points there. They're certainly winnable games.
He scored again for Serbia in the international break, so he has some form. He's not forgotten where the goal is, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested in that 4-4-2 2 that Ranieri is probably going to play with. And I'm interested to see if Kamara is the 2, is the second one. So, my 4.3 stuck to third bench spot fodder may become an option in the future. Who knows?
Imagine if he comes back in. You'd be so pleased.
I would be, yeah. I think that'd be. It's probably more likely to be someone like Vieto, because he has played, or he has been playing. He's getting assists and stuff like that. I imagine Schürrle will play the sort of 10-ish role, I guess. But then if they're going to play 4-4-2, where's Schürrle going to play on a wing? Maybe. I don't know if he suits a wing position really.
He likes cutting inside and getting shots off, and like Gay said in the chat, Schürrle's way too greedy, never feeds him crosses. I sort of agree. Schürrle has a lot of shots, and he's the games I've watched of Fulham. It seems they don't seem to have like an understanding or a link between them. So I think Ranieri it'd be good for him to address that and give us an option or a player who's going to provide Mitrovic with those assists. I think it could be Sessegnon. I think Sessegnon's. I think if Ranieri can sort of, new coach, maybe he performed well, didn't he, in the Championship last season? If he can get him playing well.
Do you think he's going to try and go all out attack, or is he going to try and shore that defence up? Like,
I really think he's going to try and shore the defence up first. I think he's got to. I think it's just consistency. I think they've been messing around too much with goalkeepers and the back four for pretty much all season, haven't they? I think he's played 3 different keepers so far, or Jukanovic played 3 different keepers.
Yeah, he needs to keep forward, doesn't he, and just stick with it.
Yeah, how can that set the back line? I think what will help them this weekend is Danny Ings being out, won't it?
Yep. Yeah, he's the biggest threat, and I can't see Austin doing too much. I can't see Long doing too much either, and I can't see Saints scoring, honestly, in that game. I think, a huge game for Fulham. 6-pointer already in this stage of the season, I think, for these two teams. And I think if Hughes loses this game, he might be next to lose his job. Yeah.
I just hope he doesn't get fired and replaced before the Man United game, because I want Martial in for that game. And if they get a new manager in by then, that new manager bounce is going to kill me. Do you want to give me a prediction for the Fulham Saints game before we move on?
2-1 Fulham.
2-1 Fulham. So you do think the Saints will score? It'll probably be like a deflected own goal, something like that.
Yeah, Højbjerg or something maybe.
Oh, Højbjerg, yeah, okay. On my bench, that'd be nice. Yeah. I'm going to say 1-0. I'm going to say Mitrovic is going to score, and we're all going to go, ooh, Mitrovic, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
I'm thinking too.
All right. Move on to Man United against Palace.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone else you want to speak on? I mean, we spoke about Martial quite a bit. Is there any player from either of these two teams who, you've got your eye on, or you want to see something from in this game?
I think Pogba's supposed to be back. So obviously one of Martial's goal was a penalty, and he probably wouldn't have taken it if Pogba was on the field. Yeah. So that's something to think about. I'm looking at Pogba. This run is quite, is obviously great, and he could be in points as well. Remains to be seen how well he does, but he is the sort of talisman for United, and he's the most influential player, I'd say. Mm-hmm. And he probably will provide Martial with assists. They link up well. What do you think of Pogba?
I thought Mourinho was quite vague in his press conference earlier. I mean, he might have had some more quotes that get embargoed until later tonight, but he said, well, the line I saw about Pogba was, and Pogba, we knew he would use this break to recover. So that doesn't necessarily imply that he's fully recovered. It implies he's been recovering. But yeah, like you, I think if Pogba was playing against City, I think he would have, like you say, taken the penalty. And when he's fit, he plays 90 minutes. And if United have got such a good run of fixtures like they do until game week 30, only playing, 3 or 4 of the top teams in that time.
Yep. I
quite like Pogba. He always plays 90 minutes. Of the little attacking threat United have, he's usually there or thereabouts with assists. And unusually, I say we, both as casual United fans, we've got quite a lot of penalties this season. So if that trend continues and Pogba's continue his stuttery run up, then yeah, he could be on for some more points. He's an interesting price bracket, isn't he? Because I think he's one of the few 8 million midfielders in the game.
Yeah.
So he's, yeah, if he was, well, I don't think he would have been 7.5, but I think that's Martial's benefit, isn't it? He's a couple.
Yeah, I think that price is awkward. No, most people don't have that extra 0.5 to be able to get to Pogba either. No. I think if you want him, you probably need your wild card still.
Yeah.
Really. Or you have to make a downgrade in defence again. So, yeah, one I was looking at for a possible Mendy replacement as well is Lindelof.
Okay.
Yeah, I like him. He's 4.8 now and 1% owned. Seems to be nailed on. He's missed one of the last 5 or 6, I think it was. But next 2 fixtures, Palace. Wait, I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry. Palace obviously away or home. Sorry, wrong again. Yeah, so they've obviously got the ability to keep clean sheets. So they're on United. That's probably going to start coming back soon enough, I would think. And their next 13 game weeks is only facing 3 of the top 6. Could be fantastic. Like, is he going to get rotated? Maybe. You expect to see Bailly a little bit during Christmas. But yeah, he's a cheap way into that defence, isn't he?
Well, it's a cheap way into that defence, but that defence is so bad, Keith.
I know.
It's so bad.
I feel like there's just sooner rather than later they're going to keep clean sheets. They can't be like so bad all season.
Is it they've got the same amount of clean sheets as Fulham or something like that, or maybe just one more? Is it they got one this season? I think it was away against Burnley.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Lindelof's played better in the recent games. Like, he was notably good against Juventus at home in the Champions League. But I don't know. He cost us the goal against. I remember. Well, I say cost us the goal, but he was marking Ronaldo, wasn't he, in the away game against Turin? The ball went over his head, and against Aguero in the second half of the derby, he didn't sort of stick with his run. Ended up looking at the ball. Aguero got in behind and finished well. So until United can rack up a clean sheet or 2, I'm a bit loath to bring in any of them, especially when you've got a player like Doherty or even Dean, who have got the same price and are more likely to get points at the other end of the pitch, I suppose.
Yeah, it's if you want to take a risk, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah, in other seasons, you'd say United 4.8, you'd snap it up, wouldn't you? Yeah, it's just something I'm thinking about. Possibly on a wild card if I want to take a gamble.
Yeah. Well, Palace have never scored at Old Trafford.
Yeah, I fancy a clean sheet this weekend at least.
No league wins in 7, so yeah, you fancy a clean sheet. What are you going to say score-wise then?
2-0 to United.
2-0. Okay.
Yeah.
Can we get? I'll say it's going to be 1-0 to United. I think it'll be a tight game and it'll be a late goal to break my Hennessy clean sheet hopes. But is there anyone in the chat right now who's got Martial or brought him in this week and is considering captaining him for this week? That'd be interesting. Do you reckon?
Well, they're considering captaining him. Yeah, I don't know if they'll do it, but
okay. It's
been discussed on Twitter a lot, hasn't it?
I'd like to, if there's anyone out there who's definitely captaining him and not going to waver, then I'd be interested to hear from you. But yeah, that's all right. Okay, So what did I say? I say 1-0, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I should write these down really, but
yeah, I think with Sacco and Tompkins back, amalgamating their names there. Toko.
Yeah, Toko. I like it.
Yeah, Sacco and Tompkins back, and Wan-Bissaka looks like he'll be back as well. I think their top defence, I think it'll be tight, and United will be lucky to win, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay.
Yeah, 2-0 is my maybe nice prediction.
Nice prediction. I like it. Okay, so Watford Liverpool?
Yeah.
So we've both got Salah and Robertson. I'm potentially going to bring in Trent for my Mendy replacement, so we've got a few players each in this one. Is Shaqiri... A lot of people brought him in for the last game week, Shaqiri. Do you think he could make things interesting in the Liverpool midfield?
Sorry, say that again.
Do you think Shaqiri could make things interesting in the Liverpool midfield? Give us another option. I think he played well in the last game. I wonder if he's bringing more life to that Liverpool attack.
Yeah, I think he played well in the Portugal and Switzerland game and Nations League as well. He played through the middle, and apparently he was very, very good there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's playing his way into the team. Honestly, I think he'll start this weekend. And anyone that got him in for that punt last week, probably not getting rid of him. I like him, and like I said before in the last video, if he can nail that spot down, he's definitely in my team because it's 7.5 an attacking team, and he gets assists and goals for fun. It seems like he seems to return whenever he plays. Yeah, I like him.
He does. He's just he's getting really he's been involved with the play. I was impressed with his performance, like you really against in the last game against Fulham. And I think Klopp said in his press conference today, it depends on the opponent. It will happen in the future, pretty sure. It's not that we don't play like this because it's a home game. When regard to talking about playing him, Firmino, Mane, and Salah in the same team. So I think he could be a nice another nice option for Liverpool pickings because Firmino is definitely not doing it at the moment, is he?
No, I imagine he'll start this weekend, and he probably won't start in the Champions League. Maybe that's my 2 cents on that. But yeah, obviously they do have Champions League against PSG this week, so that's a big game, and they've dropped points in the Champions League recently, so they need to do well in that game. So possible Salah coming off at time. Will he play 90 minutes? Not sure. What do you think to that?
Oh, I think Salah play 90 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. You think Mane might come off, someone like that?
I think Mane will come off more than Salah. I think the fact that he's played one or had that game cancelled in the international break. Although the PSG game's quite a big one for them now, isn't it?
It is.
After their loss against Red Star in the Champions. Was it Red Star in the Champions League they lost against?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So that PSG game turns into a really big game for them now. So Klopp is going to want all Salah fit for that one. But I still think he'll play 90 in this game and then 90 in Paris. So that's why he's nailed on my captain pick for this week. Really, he's played more centrally, didn't he? In the last time out against Fulham, he had 5 shots and 10.
For me, playing a bit of a cam behind him.
Yeah, Klopp's realised that Firmino isn't scoring, so he's just dropping him back a little bit. Yeah, 10 shots in the box for Salah, and I just think, for a midfielder, that extra point over Aguero this weekend, I think he's going to get something. So, more than happy to give him that armband, and looking forward to watching that game.
Yeah, I think this is one of the weeks where, I think the streak of captains might come to an end. I'm really hoping not, obviously, because there's 3 decent options, 4 almost really, with Hazard as well, because I think he's a fairly decent option still. My 12 streak captains might come to an end. I really hope not.
Yeah, well,
I just hope I picked the right one, basically.
You've done well to get a 12 from 12 so far. I got 11. I had Hazard deny away against West Ham. I got that blankety blank.
Yeah.
It was a bit disappointing. But looking on the Watford side of things in this game, I'm interested to see how Deulofeu plays because he got that fluky assist, didn't he, last time out against Southampton. But his underlying numbers are looking really impressive. So I think he's averaged 2 shots per game in the games he's played this season, and he's missed 3 big chances, which is a bit of a worry because you'd want it to be sticking away. But 5.4, he's not a huge investment. But 7 touches in the box last time out, and 6 in the loss against Newcastle. It shows he's averaging quite a few, so he's getting in the right positions. And for what looks like he's playing fairly high up the pitch. So for I think is he 5.4, maybe 5.5, something like that.
Still 5.4, yeah.
So 5.4. So for a midfielder 5.4, sort of in the same sort of bracket as Patson, like we were talking about a minute ago. I quite like Deulofeu.
Yeah, I reckon he'll start with Deeney close up top now. I think success this time is probably limited now. But yeah, I think he's a good option, like you said. Probably not this week. I don't think they'll score. I think Liverpool keep that clean sheet, but we'll see.
No, I think it, talking about success actually, because I'm one of a lot of people that brought him in. There's probably some other people in the chat who brought him in a couple of weeks ago because he was playing. He's 4.5. I think he's the only 4.5 forward that's played in every game so far this season, even if it's just a minute or two. So from a benchable player, that was a good pick and a reason why I brought him in. And it's been great that he's been actually playing the last couple of games while Deeney's been out. But like you, I think Deeney will come back in for this one and successful. Go back onto the bench. But I'm interested to see the lineup.
Gaze is mentioned in the chat as well. Obviously, Robertson rumours of him being rested.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a concern, especially for me with no other cover. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, there was thoughts on him being rumoured last week, wasn't it, or the last time they played, and that never happened. So
yeah,
you reckon?
Klopp's words were, Robbo, love it for nickname basis, came back and will train today for the first time after 2 very intensive games for Scotland. So that was today, wasn't it, in the press conference? So that makes me think that he's fit, and I would expect him to start, to be honest.
Yeah, he's match fit, isn't he? He's not like he's missed.
He needs to be trained.
Yeah. I think he'll be fine, personally. I think these are just rumours. Like, he is going to be tired, but he's a professional footballer. Like, deal with it, get over it. God, he's way better than Moreno. They've seen what happens when Moreno plays. They concede.
They need to keep the pressure on City, don't they?
That's
so
true.
I don't know if they can afford to. I'd see the Watford game as a tricky game for them, and they can't afford slipping up. So I think they've got to play their first team, or at least play Robertson over Moreno.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Anyone else you want to talk about from that game?
No, I think that was it. Honestly,
I think that was it. Honestly, okay, that's great. Should we move on to West Ham against Man City?
Yep, let's do it.
I think we want to start because I'm sure a lot of people might be in the same situation. I just seen, from Dave in the chat said Moreno plays in his opinion.
There's also Liverpool usually bring out their team sheet maybe 5 minutes before deadline. So that's something to look at as well. So
did they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do seem to. Yeah, they put it on their website maybe about maybe not 5 minutes. It's like a few minutes before the deadline. So if you want to leave it until then, just in case.
Maybe I'll leave my Trent transfer until then. See what I'm up to at 2:55 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. That's news to me. Look at you hawking on the Liverpool website. Like it.
Well, they post it on their Twitter as well.
Oh,
so
okay.
they post it on Twitter as well a few minutes early. So.
Oh, Latchin says it's like 30 seconds, so I'm gonna have to be super quick, aren't I?
Okay. All right, 30. Yeah, that's tough.
But... Woo. All right. Challenge accepted. Okay. Anyway, so West Ham, Man City, the big one for you and a lot of other people, Arnautovic on your bench. Do you want to talk through your reasoning on that one?
He's a placeholder on the bench at the moment, just because I think I'm going to take a hit for either Vinagre or Digne or something for Wan-Bissaka.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's stupid talk and I should just play Arnautovic, but I've got 2 City defenders and I feel like they're going to get a clean sheet. So he's on the bench at the moment. That's just I don't know if it's just madness. Like, maybe I should back him, but I'd rather back 2 players over 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Don't know. What do you think to that?
Well, I think he had a quiet game out last time against Huddersfield, didn't he? He had 1 shot on target and only 2 touches in the penalty box. So what I would consider that little bit of form, or the last fixture, and knowing what City's defence is like, I think logically it seems right, but I suppose the only reason why it would play on your mind, other people's minds, is just his price, because it's unusual to bench a player who costs that much against, in your case, Wan-Bissaka, who's like 3 million less.
Yeah.
So you're leaving value on the bench. But I think it's special circumstances because of how good City are.
Yeah, and I know everyone else in the chat is saying I should play him. Arnie is fixture proof, but I don't know. I don't think he is, honestly. And I mean, maybe you guys are playing him because you maybe only have 1 City defender. But I have 2, and I would rather, I think just backing them makes more sense.
So FPL Chances with you. He says he's benching Arnie. Notorious Nurse says he's not benching. Fixture proof Arnie. Gay says City conceded 1 goal from open play this season. So yeah, I think there's lots of interesting contrasting opinions. Another angle I'd probably take on it is just the ceiling of points. So I would say that Wan-Bissaka and Arnautovic are both likely to get 2 points. I can't see Palace keeping a clean sheet, and I think Arnautovic will play more than 60. Obviously, he might get a yellow, but I think that his likelihood of scoring a goal or an assist is probably a little bit higher than Wan-Bissaka's chances of getting a clean sheet.
Yeah, but
a little bit.
If I do play that 5 formation, Wan-Bissaka won't be there. It will be for a hit for someone else.
True.
It's just if I take that hit, or I just play Arnie no matter what and just deal with it. Yeah, don't know. I'm undecided. Sorry, guys.
I quite like all the people saying 4-5-1. I think Lachen says 4-5-1 looks ugly. Sorry, 5-4-1 looks ugly.
Ooh, I think it looks great.
You think it looks good?
Yeah, I've been thinking about 5-4-1 for ages, and this is the first week I'm actually going to do it, and I feel fairly good about it.
You have actually, haven't you? Because you've been bigging up how you get Trippier in that back five as well.
Yeah.
Okay, talking of... Oh, is there any more you want to mention about the City? And I think they're going to win, aren't they? There's usually over 2.5 goals in this one. I think in the last...
8 home games.
8 games, yeah.
That was one of my stats as well. Yeah, I think I have said before, Sterling usually gets rested after international breaks. But he only played 1 game this break, so I think it's likely he'll play. He'll start this week. I can see possibly Mahrez being the one benched. I think Bernardo has been ruled out. Perhaps he's out, which might affect them. Not sure. De Bruyne's still out. I think Sané's probably nailed on for the time being.
Yeah.
10 to 12 weeks out for Mendy, and he seems to. He played all the games when Mendy was out earlier in the season, all the games when Mendy was out last year. He does seem to stick on the wing a lot more when Mendy is out. He's just been glued there. That might affect his returns, or did seem to last year. But nailed on in an attractive City attacking team. Sane could be good. What do you think, Sonny?
Yeah, well, I think he played well. I've watched the Germany Netherlands game, and he scored a nice goal in that game, and I thought he played fairly well considering they drew. And he does get involved, doesn't he, in the play for Man City, and the fact that they've won 9 of their last 11, I would expect them to score again at the weekend. And I think in previous seasons he's had a fairly decent record at the London Stadium. I'm pretty sure he was involved quite heavily in one of the games. I think they maybe won 4-2 or 4-1 a couple of seasons back. Anyway, I do like Sané, and like you say, now that Mendy's out, he is going to be their main sort of outlet on the left hand side. So he's a bit of a cheaper alternative to Sterling, really. I don't think he gets in quite as many sort of clinical positions as Sterling. Sterling always seems like there or thereabouts for the tap-ins in the 6-yard box, and I don't think Sané's that sort of player. I always see him as more of a player that's getting into the box and cutting the ball back for Sterling.
Yeah.
But I think Man City's midfield, we're sport for choice, aren't we? Really, there's too many good picks.
Yeah, I mean that 2.5 goals in the last 8 home games against City conceded for West Ham. That means Sterling could be a great captain. Any of those sort of midfielders that you have from City could be good captains. Aguero could be as well. Like he can score in 60 odd minutes, can't he? We're just saying he might get 60 minutes. We don't know that for sure. We can play 90. And he could be a good captain as well. So yeah, I think all of them are worth a shot.
That would be a good chip, wouldn't it, in FPL next year? Double captain. Like you get to pick 2 captains in 1 game week. What do you think of that chip idea? Be honest with me.
Yeah, I'm on board.
Okay, you're on board. Guys, what do we think in the chat about that idea? It'd be more interesting than Bench Boost. Bench Boost is boring.
I think they should add the Champions League chip that they bought in this year, which is limitless wildcard, which just means you have an unlimited budget and you can just get anyone you want. Obviously, still 3 per team, but unlimited budget for 1 week. Then it reverts back.
Oh, that doesn't sound too bad.
It's kind of like a free hit, but you can just get the best of everyone.
Yeah. Okay. I quite like that. All right. Maybe one of those 2. We'll email it to the people at FPL Towers and see what they say. Probably ignore us. Should we talk about Spurs against Chelsea? The big one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you excited for this one?
Yeah. London Derby. Should be fun.
London Derby. It should be fun. Yeah. Spurs are going in with a lot of injuries.
But they got some people back as well.
They have. Who's back, Kieran?
Big Jan Vertonghen back in that defence.
He's back.
Obviously, Trippier not quite back yet, but when he does come back, I think that back four is going to be pretty formidable again. Tongan and Alvaro reunited. I think they could be good in the next, obviously, the 15 from game week 15. I think their defense looks really good. Obviously, Lloris is 5.4. I've been talking about him as well, but Vertonghen might be the way to go because he'll be nailed on if he can stay fit.
Yeah, I like Vertonghen, and I think like you, I think he could be a good option in the back there. And plus, I think he's got a bit of goal threat about him as well.
Yeah, I think he'll probably start. I mean, I don't know.
I think he had maybe he tweeted from his account earlier saying it's great to be back ahead of the London derbies.
Yeah, he did.
So I think he'll probably play. How do you see this one going?
I don't know. It's difficult to call this one. I think I want Alonso to do well, obviously. Not sure he'll get a clean sheet, but then maybe they will. Like they got 2-0 last year. And I think Alonso scored both. Chat might correct me if I'm wrong there.
I think they won 2-1.
Are you sure?
Okay. I vaguely remember an Eriksen free kick and someone scoring a diving header.
Okay, so did Alonso get both?
He did get both. He got a free kick and then some shot which Lloris didn't save very well at the end of the game. Yeah,
so people are talking about benching Alonso. I think that's madness. I mean, talk about benching Arne, but benching Alonso, that's silly.
It's madness.
silly. I think Chelsea could do well. I think if Vertonghen doesn't start, then they've got that fourth guy still, and Hazard and Alonso against Foyth and Aurier. Hello. Sounds great. Like like that gif of what's he called? Jim Carrey of just like, hello, you there? That's you're looking at Alonso and Hazard returns.
Yeah, I'm like FPL Chancellor just said in the chat. I can see a lot of people jumping off Hazard. I'm tending to agree there because like one goal in last 8 for a player that's nearly worth 11 million. When you look elsewhere and see Sterling playing so well, and even Mane maybe again for the double up against in those decent-ish fixtures coming up, I think we could see a bit of an exodus on Hazard, especially as also to fund Kane. I think it's a big moment, and also I think added to the fact that Alonso is the top scoring player in the game at the moment. He's scoring, he's getting goals, he's getting assists, he's usually getting bonus as well every time they get a clean sheet. Maybe he's enough Chelsea coverage.
Yeah, probably is, to be honest. I mean, but I wouldn't be getting rid of Hazard, as a Norwegian viewer's been saying. Like they got, Burnley?
They got Fulham at home next.
Fulham 14, is it? Game 14. Yeah, so he might be a captain for that. If he can do well in the Tottenham games, if he can show a little bit of form, then he could be a captain.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to give me a score prediction then?
I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea. Okay.
Yeah.
Blimey. Okay. Let me think. I think it's going to be 1-0 to Spurs. I fancy Spurs. They've got a lot of players out, but I think they've got some resolve about them. I think it'll be a close game, though. Really close game.
Yeah, I think this might be one of those games where Alonso doesn't get anything. He promises a lot, but I think it might. Yeah, the returns might come someone else. I think someone's mentioned Willian earlier. Like Willian could do well in this game.
It's such a huge week for Spurs. They've got this game. They've got that must-win game against Inter Milan at home in the Champions League. And then next weekend they go away to Arsenal for the London derby. So it's a big week for them. I think they'll be really, really up for tomorrow's game because if they can get a positive result, i.e. a win, it'll really set them up for a big week.
Well, I think Eriksen, Ali, all back, ready to go. So could be full strength team like we saw from like last year most games. Son maybe in there somewhere. Probably Moore will continue to start, I guess. People have mentioned him. What do we think of him? I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of him. He's a bit of a flash in the pan. But he seems to be playing all the minutes. I mean, you owned him. You've probably got a better stance on him than me.
Yeah, I agree. I had him for quite a while, didn't I, in my team? He came in on my wild card, and he had some good fixtures from game week 4 to about game week 8, and I backed him, and he didn't do anything, and he's been a bit of a letdown, really. Just finally, but actually before we move on, I wanted to say about I think Kovacic came back from international duty with a bit of a knock, which Sarri mentioned today. So that could mean that Barkley plays, and I thought he played fairly well for England against Croatia last week. I thought he was a bit unlucky to get taken off. So for people that jumped on that Barkley bandwagon and you haven't got rid of him yet, maybe give him it's a tough game. But if you've got more pressing things, I think he'll probably start tomorrow.
It's the kind of game that he'll do something in. To him. He'll just get that little wonder ball over the top, little nice assist or something. Yeah.
All right.
But that's if Hazard, not Hazard, Morata can finish anything.
Oh, well, we know it's fun.
Spain.
Yeah, I did see the miss for Spain.
Chat. What do you guys think?
God, just like bounced off him, didn't it? And went wide. I felt sorry for him because he was doing well. Like, did you see the games before that? He'd scored like, what was it, 4 goals in 4 or something like that?
People were talking about him, weren't they?
Yeah. Do you know what messed him up? Remember when he tried to chip? Did he try and chip Pickford? No.
Yeah.
Was he trying to chip Pickford or something like that? Oh man.
Yeah, foolish.
Oh, and then since then maybe his confidence has been shot. I
Maybe.
don't know if it was Pickford. Anyway, Hennessy. It was Hennessy against Crystal Palace. Yeah, that's right. Because I was pleased because it was a save point. But anyway, yeah. I don't know. Morata's confidence is shot. Should we talk about someone's confidence who isn't shot?
Go on, who are you mentioning?
I'm going to mention Ryan Fraser.
Okay, yeah.
I want to talk about Bournemouth against Arsenal now. Do you want to talk about that?
Of course, that's the next one.
Oh, I just want to say thanks to Egg. He says he's got to go. Great live chat. Thanks, Egg Maestro, for joining us. Bournemouth Arsenal. So that's the 1 o'clock Renault Super Sunday kickoff, isn't it? Branded. Renault give us lots of stuff now. I've mentioned them. Big shout out. Obviously, we've got a big audience, guys. Call me up. Anyway, so yeah, big game. I'm really looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be, after the Chelsea Spurs game, it's my second most looking forward to game of the week.
Yep.
If that's a thing. It is a thing now. And Bournemouth won 2-1 against Arsenal in January in this game. Fraser has got the most assists in the league. 5 key passes in the last game against Newcastle. I think he's probably on for more of the same against Arsenal. Would you agree?
I hope so. Yeah, that's the plan. I'm playing him, and I think he's going to get something.
Well, he's the first in the league for assists. Like I say, 32 big chances created, which is the most in the league, and 13 big chances created, which again is the best in the league. 3 home games in the next 4. These are all reasons why I can't bring myself to take a point hit to get Martial in, because it just seems that Fraser's in fantastic form. He's been consistent this season. I think did I say he's returned in every other game or something like that? 6 of the 12 game weeks or something like that. So he's just for a player that started at 5-5 to be ticking over like this. It's great.
Yeah, having a great season, isn't he?
So Callum Wilson, player I own, and I'm looking forward to watching again. He obviously got his big England call up and scored. He's scored 3 goals in games against Arsenal, so I'm hoping he continues that.
Yeah.
What do you think about Arsenal's prospects?
Arsenal's prospects?
Yeah.
I think Lacazette and Aubameyang's yellow flags, international break injuries have gone. They're both in training again. So I think they could do well. I honestly think there'll be goals in this game. I think it's going to be like a 3-2, 3-3, something like that.
Okay.
I think it could be really exciting. And I think probably Lacazette is, I think, the most owned from them now, and he's around about 13%, something like that. He seems to be nailed on playing all the 90s at the moment, so he's probably your best look at points from them. All their attacking mids are proper rotation frenzy, aren't they? Like Ozil, Mickey, Ramsey, Iwobi. You can't really rely on any of them to pick in your squad because they're just never nailed on. Aubameyang, I guess, is not nailed on either. And then, there's Bellerin, isn't there? He looks like he's a winger himself. A little bit suspect at the back, but I like him going forward. If they can keep clean sheets, then he'll be on for really good points because he'll probably get some assists in this game. Holding is still 4.4. Seems to still be playing. If he plays this game, you'd probably say he's favoured over Socrates. And he's absolutely cheap to get in their defence, isn't he? I think it's a tough game to call, but I think they'll be goals. I'm not sure who's going to win it though.
Have you been a bit disappointed by Aubameyang this season? I know he was a huge contemplation for you. Did you own him for 6 or 7 game weeks or so, something like that?
I think it was about 6 from the start, and then I got rid of him as he started to get all those points. So it was just typical, really. I got him for Mitrovic, who scored the week I got him, and then continued to blank for however long it's been.
Yeah.
So that's just one of those things, really. I just had to move on because I didn't think he was going to do much, and then he started to do it, didn't he? So
yeah,
so be it.
It's been a real shame, I think, that he's been played out on the left for the most part, and it seems he's most effective when he's sadly come on from the bench, which has been a bit of a nightmare. I think he was quite quiet, wasn't he, against Wolves? And like Notorious Nerd said in the chat, which Arsenal's going to turn up, the one against Liverpool or the one against Wolves? And he's right, because they played really well against Liverpool, I thought. And Lacazette took his goal really well, but against Wolves, it just seemed like a really lethargic performance, and I don't know, it didn't inspire me to see or to think, I want to get Lacazette or Aubameyang in, because like Spurs, they've got a decent run starting game week 16, and I want to, if there's a potential to get an Arsenal player in my team, I'll do it, but I want some more clarity still about Aubameyang and how he affects Lacazette.
Yeah, Dave Pimpernel has asked if Lacazette's captain's an option. I mean, I think it's a maverick move, but I do like it. Like I said, I think there'll be goals, and I think he's on to be involved.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's differential captain compared to Salah and I guess Richarlison this week and Aguero. Then yeah, if you're chasing ranks, I think it's a good option.
Bournemouth definitely won't sit back either, will they?
No, I think they're in good form and they're in a good place in the league, and I think they'll attack and go for it. Yeah. I mean, they're at home, aren't they? So why not?
They battered United for the first half an hour, maybe in the first half of that game. So if they can perform anything like they did in that game, I wouldn't be surprised if there's space for Arsenal to hit them on the counter with Ozil, Aubameyang and Laka.
Yep.
Okay. Wolves, Huddersfield.
Yeah.
The 4 p.m. game. I saw a comment a minute ago, and I wanted to scroll back to it because I want to start talking about it. It was someone that said, I don't know if I'm going to find it now, but someone said, why, or surprised that neither of us have got Jimenez. And I agree with him, because I'd love to have Jimenez ahead of these games. He's got 7 returns in his last 8, and he's one you passed up earlier in the season.
Annoyingly. I should have gone for him instead of Mitrovic for Aubameyang, really.
Yeah. And he's got 2 good home fixtures coming up. My point, or my angle on it, when I was thinking about this question and looking at your team, is he's offering good value compared to Arnautovic. I mean, would you, if you would continue playing this 4-5-1 or 4-4-2, is Jimenez a player you'd consider over Arnautovic, even considering Arnie's fixtures? Or would you want to play 4-3-3?
I think, I obviously like him. I like him as a player, but I bought in Arnie for his fixtures, not for this City game. I pretty much knew that I'd probably bench him for the City game. And Arnie's in for the next 5 or 6 weeks, isn't it? He's great fixtures, and he can score against all of them, no problems asked, I think. But Jimenez seems to be on form as well, doesn't he? And just a shame I don't have the money to be able to get him. I'd love to get Kamara out for Jimenez, but it's just don't have the funds, and just how it is, unfortunately. I felt like Digne for me and stuff like that, or Vinagre for Mendy might have been an option, and to get Jimenez in, but then I'd be having a benching issue. And yeah, I don't like having benching issues. That's my pet hate of missing points on the bench.
Yeah, it was Bill X who brought it up in the chat, by the way. He replied, and I agree with you. It's been a difficult one for me because it's been Doherty or Jimenez for the last maybe 5 game weeks. I've sort of embedded in this 4-4-2 formation, but I think these are a good 2 fixtures for me to see if Doherty is going to provide as good or as many points basically as Jimenez is going to provide. I mean, Jimenez has shown that, like you say, in these last 8 games to get 7 returns is great. So maybe Doherty isn't as good value as I thought he was, and there may be more more points available and switching back to a 3-4-3 and upgrading success to Jimenez. I do really like him. His value, and you're not shaking your head. You're not so keen on dropping Doherty.
Well,
I like his value to points ratio. But anyway, tell me, why are you not so keen?
Doherty was so close to like a clean sheet against Arsenal, and he would have got the full bonus. So he's obviously in a 0-0, he's still going to get all the bonus over someone like Jimenez, who's obviously done nothing.
Yeah,
so I think in those close games, which most games for Wolves will be, I think Doherty's still a great option and very cheap still.
Yeah,
his value compared to his points has been pretty damn good, hasn't it?
So would you expect a clean sheet in this one?
The Wolves, yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm thinking about bringing in Vinagre as well as a Wamby replacement to get that. I'm hoping, like I'm told, he's very attacking, very skillful, and I'm hoping if I bring him in, he'll get a return. And
right.
So not just a clean sheet, he'll get like an attacking return. Obviously, Huddersfield don't concede too many chances, but they are away from him. Like at home, they're harder to break down, but away from him, I think they'll give up a few opportunities. And I'm hoping my wing backs, if I get Vinagre, will be passing to each other for the goals.
Yeah, I did note that in the last, I think it was the last 2 games after international breaks, Jimenez didn't play the full 90. So I mean that might be something that's worth consider for their owners, but I think he's got enough in him to do damage and get some points against this Huddersfield team, even if he plays 60 to 70 minutes. You've had some more comments in the chat. Harry Baker says benching Arnie instead of Wan-Bissaka is crazy. Kieran.
Well, like I said, Wan-Bissaka is only a placeholder for the time being.
It's a placeholder.
If I don't take any hits, then Arnie will play. Okay, Wan-Bissaka will not play.
Okay. Okay. All right. Is there any more you want to mention about Wolves or Huddersfield? I think they're going to win as well. I'm going to say a score prediction of 2-0 to Wolves. I think it'll be a pretty straightforward day for them, and I think it'll be the first. Well, that they got 1 point in 12, so it should be their first win in what 4 or 5 games. Jimenez didn't play in the second Mexico game. Says
he'll be wearing a mask probably. So.
Oh yeah.
He'll get in there for a goal.
FPL
I'm going to say 2-0 as well. Sounds good, right to me.
2-0 sounds good to you. FPL Chancellor did say Jimenez didn't play in the second Mexico game. So I don't know historically if he played both games of the previous 2 international breaks to then have reduced minutes. But anyway, we'll see. Maybe there's an issue with flying. I did think there was an issue with flying for the Brazil game because I thought Richarlison playing, was it Tuesday night? He played for Brazil or Wednesday? I thought it might be an issue. They're playing Saturday, and then I looked where the game was, and it was in Milton Keynes. I was like, why Brazil playing Cameroon in Milton Keynes? Anyway, they did, and it was glorious, and Richarlison scored. Okay, so Monday Night Football, the big one, Burnley against Newcastle. Are you looking forward to that game?
Well, I'm going to try and watch it. I'm going to be away in London next week. But yeah, so I'm going to try and watch it, but I don't think it's going to be fun, honestly. But we might see a Rondo bullet header again. Who knows? Yeah.
Well, last time out was the second time he's completed 90 minutes in a row, and it looks like potentially if he plays in this one, I'd say he's first choice. 5.7 million, so he's around that Jimenez price and less than 1% ownership. Also added to the fact that I think Burnley have conceded the most shots on target in the Premier League this season. So I think, Rondon could be looking at some points in this one. Joe Hart's either going to be busy. Well, Joe Hart is going to be busy by the sounds of it.
To be honest, I think it's going to be a boring 0-0.
You think it'll be a boring 0-0?
I don't think either team has enough going forward to break down their relatively solid defences. Obviously, Burnley hasn't been solid, but I think Newcastle defence is okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's going to be boring 0-0. Unfortunately.
Daisha says that Tarkowski's not quite fully fit yet and he'll be back soon, so looks like he's going to miss out on this one. I liked his expression he used. He said, he's nicely on the grass, but he's not quite with us yet.
Yeah, what on earth does that mean?
He's nicely on the grass, Kieran. He's just nicely on the grass.
Sitting, jogging, who knows? Stretching?
This is a PG stream. And he also said Goodmanson was fine. He was struggling with his calf in the Leicester game. It's been ongoing. Yeah, that is good. I think if they are going to if they are going to get anything, Burnley that is, I think Gudmundsson's going to be involved. Like we've said on our previous preview and review shows that he is sort of their main creative player, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So Absolutely. I'd be looking to him. I'm a bit like you. I think it'll be a boring game, but I don't think it'll be 0-0. I'm going to say 1-1 in this one. I could see, like I say, Burnley have conceded a lot of chances this season. I think that trend will continue, and I think Newcastle will score. But I also think someone like Chris. I think Chris is the sort of game Chris Wood is going to score in. All right.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I'm going to say a 1-1-1. 1-1-1. I'm going to say 1-1 there.
Fair play.
Cool. All right. I think
should we ask for a few more questions before we head off?
I think we should. Should we just talk about? Oh, whoops. Should we just talk about captaincy, real quick, and also answer questions as well? Because
Salah for me, I think.
Okay, Salah for me. It's definitely gonna be Salah for me as well.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, the fact that Aguero usually gets hauled off around the 60 to 65 minute mark has put too much doubt in my mind. And going against Salah's previous form against Watford, I've got a good feeling. Plus, I've also got to back myself, Kieran, because I said Salah was going to score the most points in November of all the players in the game. So yeah, let's continue. Let's continue with that.
Yeah, I think it could either be really tough or they could blow them away. Watford. Mm-hmm. So let's hope it's to blow them away.
Harry Baker says, feel like Aguero poor away form is a myth. City a far better attacking side than Liverpool. Think people are sleeping on Aguero captain a bit.
Yeah, you could be right.
I agree that City have been a better attacking threat than Liverpool this season. That's clear to see in the goals. But yeah, despite that, I think I'm going to go with Salah. I just like the extra point for a goal, clean sheet. I think I'll get a clean sheet.
It's a tough decision, honestly. I think both are good options. So I think when there's been decisions between both of them before, like they've both gone and scored, so nobody's really been punished. And I imagine they'll both do that again this week. I think Aguero will probably get one, and I reckon Salah will probably get one as well.
I think that's why a lot of people have gone for the Richarlison pick this week, or been touting Richarlison, just because these away games, because it's so difficult to call between the two, they think they should ignore both and captain Richarlison. Where I don't think that's the right move. I think you should make a decision on one or the other. I'd be surprised if Richarlison outscores both Salah and Aguero this week. Really surprised. I think at least one of them will definitely score more than he will. Do you want to pick out some questions from? Do you agree with that? You looked.
Yeah, I do. I do agree with that.
Okay, you looked confused. All right. Do you want to pick out some questions from the chit chat?
Ryan or Hart on the bench says Jacek Tabaseski. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I would probably play Ryan against Leicester. What do you reckon?
Difficult one. I think Ryan's more chance of a clean sheet, but Joe Hart's
better defence.
Well, I was going to say, better defence, whereas Joe Hart's more chance of save points. So it's a tricky one.
Is he going to get many save points against Newcastle?
Yeah, good question. I think Ryan for me on that one, actually. Very close though. That's why I don't like two 4.5-ish keepers, because it's dilemmas like that when you see their points on the bench on a Monday or a Tuesday morning, and irritating. So Clement Leroux says Balbuena or Digne. Dean. I keep trying to pronounce it as well. Dean. Balbuena or Dean. I'd say Dean on that one.
Dean for me.
Dean. Balbuena. West Ham have kept one clean sheet all season, haven't they? And I think Everton have kept 3 or 4, and he's more attacking. I think that's Dean for me.
I think Everton are sort of turning the corner clean sheet wise, aren't they? They're just getting a bit more solid. Mina coming in now, Keane fully back to his fitness. I think Dean, of those two.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to pick out another one?
Sterling versus Hazard next 4 from Bill.
Go on.
Well, I need to check.
I like Sterling, and I think he plays in a team that scores more goals than Chelsea. And I think if you've got Alonso, I'd definitely do it. I think he's more. It's funny though, because I always consider Sterling to be more potent at home, whereas they've only got 2 home games in the next 5. Whereas Hazard can do it at home and away. The big the warning I'd have is obviously that Chelsea's home game against Fulham, But apart from that, Chelsea's fixtures are quite mixed. Away against Tottenham and Wolves are fairly difficult games, I'd say, and then they play Man City at home. So it's really only that you're banking on that one Fulham game against West Ham, Bournemouth, Watford, and Chelsea for City. I also think City will probably beat Chelsea away. So yeah, I'd probably say Sterling for those next 4.
Yeah, if you were only had to choose and you're making that transfer now, I think Sterling's probably the better pick. But if you want to, I would say keep Hazard, or if you've got Hazard, obviously. Then I'd say keep him until after the Fulham game, then possibly switch to Sterling. I mean, yeah, it's hard to get rid of Hazard without a Fulham game on the horizon.
Yeah, but if you want to get up the leagues, you've got to make these tough decisions. FPL Chancellor. Wait, who else has asked a question here? FPL Chancellor, are you both happy with your season so far, and what are your targets? Competitive with each other. So, both happy with my season so far? I'd say yes, because in the last couple of seasons, I've had really slow starts. Like around this sort of time, I've been around the million, so I've been lucky to sort of claw it. I haven't ever finished outside top 175k. So from this point in the season, well, last year, remember I was like maybe I was even a million. I'd had a really bad start last season, so yeah, to be where I am right now, which is like 73k, I'm really pleased. And targets, I'd just be happy to finish inside the top 50k maybe. The player, I think what you've got to consider compared to previous years is the player base has got so high now, hasn't it? Like when I well, a couple of years ago, I had some really good finishes for like 3 seasons running. But there must have been 3 million players now. It's double that now. So I think that with more competition, I think anything inside the top 50k would be pleasing for me. And competitive with each other, I think we just try and hope we both do well, don't we? We obviously have our own like friend group mini leagues which we're in.
Yeah, when it comes to mini league, it's definitely competitive. But I think our main goal is overall rank. I mean, we both just want us to do well.
Yeah.
But yeah, my season so far, this is probably like I've been playing for like eight years, but this is only the real like this is my second really like of taking it properly seriously and properly getting into it. And then when I do properly get into fantasy, I seem to do well. So I'm like 19k at the moment, and I was like up to 6k earlier in the year. I did get that high, and like during the middle of one game week. And yeah, like I've done well in Champions League. I'm like top. I think I'm like 100 in the world-ish in Champions League at the moment. And obviously, I did well in World Cup as well. So I think, yeah, I'm happy with my season so far. I think my target is top 10k. I definitely don't want to drop. That's my goal for me. And I think it's perfectly doable at 19k at the moment, as long as I keep making wise decisions, which I've pretty much done so far. Competitive with each other. Yeah, just mini leagues, and yeah, other than that, hopefully to win the Cougars League would be nice. But I think I'm a long way off that.
Yeah, well, I think Kieran's been you've been really casual before, haven't you? You wouldn't mind me saying. Yes. There's previous seasons where he's had like really good starts to the league, and then after about game week 5, he's just like, I can't check my team now. So yeah, doing much better.
I used to give up if I had a bad week, but I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. So the Lukovic Daily said, answer our questions, and his question before that was, who for captaincy this game week? So we did just discuss this about 5 minutes ago, but if you missed that and you've just joined, welcome. And to answer your question, we are both, well, I'm pretty set on going Salah this weekend. Very briefly, because I think he's going to score the most points this month, so I'm going to stick with that. I think Salah's going to score against Watford. I think he's going to do better than Aguero. That's pretty much... Try not to overcomplicate it too much, really. More points for a midfielder goal. I think they're going to get a clean sheet. I think Aguero's minutes have been restricted in previous games, coming off at 60, whereas I think Salah's going to play 90 minutes. So all those factors, whoosh, together, make one answer. Do you want to pick out another one? Oh, someone says league code FPL Cougars.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it.
It's usually down here in the description, but I haven't done the video bit yet. So it'll be on our Twitter page, which is at FPL Cougars, all one word. It's in the banner. It's everywhere, Bill. It's everywhere. I'll answer another question while you type it in the comments. We'll do a few more of these, and I think we'll wrap up shortly. Be good to get some feedback from you guys as well, because like we say, this has been our first live stream. So if there's things that you think we've done well or you'd like to see us do differently, that we'd love to hear it, because we're just trying to make the experience a good one for you guys watching, really. Let me see. Let me pick out another question here. Dave, a while back, said, would you rather have a great first 11 over Christmas and a horrible bench, or a solid 15? I think I'd rather have a good first 11 and a horrible bench. Even despite the rotation which you always get over Christmas, in previous seasons, it's very unlikely even your bench players will get rotated. So if you spent some money on your bench players and they got rotated, you'd be doubly irritated. So yeah, I think as long as you're getting a point or two off your bench, I mean, I've got players on my bench who could get points. Wan-Bissaka, Højbjerg, and Success all play. I think you've just got to have what you got to fill your bench with over Christmas is players who are very low priced from teams, but are definitely nailed on to play some part in the game, and they're just going to come and get you points.
I think that's the key, isn't it? Just have a good bench, but the good bench does not need to be expensive. Like, it can just be Wan-Bissaka, Billing, and whoever else. Like, the cheap ones like Dunk or Vinagre over the next 6 weeks. I think I would prefer a good 15, but the 15 on the bench are cheap.
Yeah,
they're going to come on for 2 points, and when they're rotated, they just get me a solid 2 points. So I'm happy with that. You can't. The worst thing, as I've said before, is just having a good bench and having so many points on the bench, and that's just so frustrating. Like, I know I might be looking at that this week with Arnautovic there, but it's a little bit of a one-off for me. We'll see.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, and I'll also go as far to say when it comes with bench players, you really got to invest your money in your starting 11, and most likely the players you have in your starting 11 are going to be heavily owned. So if you get hit with a player that's not playing, as long as you've got one coming off the bench who has played, and I think you'll be fine. You don't want to be in a situation where you've loaded a lot of money into your defence and they've not played. Did you see in the chat there that Mika says Mane got booed so much that he broke down in tears?
Yeah, I did hear that, but
I didn't. I don't think.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, he's a big boy. I think he'll probably want to prove them wrong by playing well for Liverpool.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is there any more you want to pick out here? I'm just trying to see if there's any we haven't answered. I'm trying to get to as many as possible.
No, I think they're mostly replicas of what's come before, really. We sort of browse over everything, haven't we?
Yeah, Clement LaRue said Lloris or Hart for the current run of fixtures. I'd say Lloris when their fixtures turn. Game week 15, Hart before that. It depends if you've got enough transfers. And Ahmed said, could Johnny's injury affect Doherty's attacking role? I don't think so. I think he'll continue to play that position. And he'll get forward, and there'll be more attacks going down the right. Cool. All right. Cool beans. So I think that wraps up our first live stream. We had that interference, didn't we, in the middle, where YouTube failed us. YouTube CEO phoned me up. He said, sorry guys, let you down. Won't happen again. So we'll take his word for that.
Try and splice the video together.
Exactly. We'll try. We'll use magic. So thanks to everyone who joined us. Really, really great to have so many questions and comments in the chat. And really, really good. So next week, Keek's away somewhat, aren't you?
Yes, I'm away next week.
So we're gonna. I'll either do a solo review show, or we'll do another preview show on the Friday, probably. But we'll let you know. We'll post it out on YouTube as a little update, and we'll also update our Twitter page. I think that's about right, isn't it?
Yep.
So if you've got any other pressing questions about your team, or usually about your team. Well, I mean, we'll take live questions as well, but we're not that well versed. But yeah, if you've got any questions about your team, hit us up on YouTube or tweet us, and we'll try and answer as many of you as possible. And if you haven't already, subscribe so you can just be aware when we upload new content, which is usually once or twice a week, isn't it? We're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud now, and the links will be in our descriptions of our videos. So yeah, if you prefer listening on any of those devices, then please do. All right, cool. Cool. So, good luck, everyone, this game week. We hope this was useful, and speak to you next week.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, guys. Bye now.